Hi everyone and welcome to another episode of the Silver Screen Show. I am joined by Abu and welcome back to Mo!
Hello! Glad to be here!
Nice of you to join us, man.
Yeah, nice of you to turn up.
We were wondering what you were missing for the last few...
It's just the last day, last time.
Hope you didn't mind all the subtle jabs you had in the last show.
No, I didn't.
It wasn't that many, right?
No, I didn't spoil you. I didn't spoil you. What are you talking about?
Even your mates were asking you, like, where are you, man?
Well, my mates are just concerned, generally.
Well, and to welcome him back to the show, we're going to throw him straight in with his review of The Shape of Water.
Which we were supposed to do.
Which we were supposed to do 2 weeks ago.
The Shape of Water. Well,
So,
glad you guys waited for it, because this is one film to watch. This is an Academy Award-nominated film now.
Is it
This
one of
has
the
got
most?
It's like
13. Yeah.
It's got the most this year, right?
Tied for the second most.
It's the second most, okay.
Yeah, second most number of Oscars ever.
Oh, ever.
Nominations. Yeah. So the film is, well, the genre is dark fantasy comedy. Dark fantasy drama, romantic drama.
I was like, it doesn't look like a comedy from the trailer.
There's no, it's not comedy. There are comedy elements into it, but it's really, it's more supernatural thriller. It's not thriller, just drama.
It's Del Toro, isn't it?
Del Toro.
Yeah, so it's
directed by the super director, Mexican
legend
Guillermo del Toro. I hope I pronounced his name right.
Yeah.
So the film follows what's her name?
A lady.
Sally Hawkins.
Sally Hawkins playing a mute person who works in a scientific facility where they bring in an asset which essentially is like a half man, half fish
Merman.
hybrid. Yeah, it really is a merman. Yeah, just it looks kind of scary, so it's not a Little Mermaid merman.
Or some Aquaman looking.
But if anyone who knows Guillermo del Toro films, Pan's Labyrinth and the rest, you'll know that the man loves monster films and he does monster films very well.
Very well.
And especially the effects and the makeup of the monsters are just amazing. So this one follows suit and doesn't disappoint. The monster in the film is just short of amazing. It is amazing. It's just short of like
perfection.
Perfection. The best you can see.
Yeah.
I felt like I was comparing this to Pan's Labyrinth quite often, and even to an extent, the feel was like Lord of the Rings. I say this because the feel of the movie was more about like there was a dreamy quality in the film. If you've watched it, you'll know what I'm talking about. It is set in the 1960s or so, and the get-up and even the phones are the 1960s phone. But the cinematography and just how the way the camera works makes it feel like you're just watching a dream. It's like very floaty, and I don't know how to put it. But
I'm trying to think of a word to say, like like a dreamlike state. Probably, I don't know. What's the word you'd use to? Lucid.
Yeah, probably. Kind of like that. I cannot really explain it, but I thought the cinematography was top notch. So again, going back to what the story is, the merman comes to the scientific facility, and people try and do like scientific tests on it. Sally Hawkins is a mute. The fishman cannot talk either, and they instantly connect.
Interesting.
And then and from there, Sally has never had a boyfriend in her life. That's at least what it seems like. And so she tries and communicate, and how romance develops, interspecies romance develops, and how it then follows a story of what Sally wants to do about the situation of the merman. I'm not going to spoil too much, but it goes into sort of action thriller from there on, as well as the romance.
So I'm assuming she works in some sort of like governmental facility or something like that?
A government facility.
Okay.
Oh, I must mention Michael Shannon. He plays the head of the government facility. An evil man.
Obviously.
Head of facility is never the good guy.
Yeah. Especially when it's a government facility.
Exactly. Government.
What country is this based in, by the way? Like, what was this?
America.
America.
Yeah, who else?
I'm just worried, man.
So there is a bit of political tension between the Russians and the Americans, because the Russians want the merman as a research subject as well. And so
Cold War beef.
It is set in the Cold War.
Yeah.
Exactly. And so if it goes on, it goes on to be something like, if the Russians can have it, then the Russians will kill it, or if the Americans can have it, the Americans will kill it. So that's the kind of dynamic that plays in. And I must stress, the best bit about the film is the romance. It sounds so odd. It sounds so odd when it's an interspecies romance.
Okay.
Imagine.
Yeah, I don't want to.
Yeah, don't imagine. Don't imagine.
He's clearly not going to be seeing this film.
Just as a fair warning, this film is for adults.
Yeah,
it's
I can imagine.
graphic.
Okay, we get it.
Yeah.
We get it.
Right. Okay, sounds pretty good. What do you say on the flip side?
Yeah, there's something bad about it.
The only bad thing I thought about the film was the. It is very difficult to put a bad thing.
Okay.
So this film had 13 Oscars, right?
Yeah.
And not for any reason. It excels at every level. Had it not had good competition, I can guarantee it would have won many of them.
Fair enough.
I'm trying to think that the very end of the film. I wish there was more happening at the very end. It collapses very quickly.
Or the third act.
Yeah, it concludes well. But I had a feeling that it would conclude quite epically, and it was an epic conclusion.
Yes.
Yeah, because the rest of the film.
Is it one of those endings that's like, it's not as epic, but it's that little bit more realistic?
It's definitely more realistic as
far as an interspecies relationship can be.
Yes, interspecies, like strong
Just
relationships.
keep on saying it.
That's amazing.
Okay, so what would your short review of it?
My short
Couple of
review will
words.
be. It's one to watch. It really is one to watch. Do not miss this. There is a good reason why it got 13 nominations.
But there is strong competition if
Strong
50 Shades 3 comes out on the same day, man. That is an amazing Oscar caliber movie. I think that had no screenings whatsoever. So
We'll come on to this. Okay.
We've all got the tickets for it, right?
No. Can't even lie about it.
Again.
I'm joking.
We'll go on to some news bit in a
Yeah.
bit. But next we're going to talk about, thank you for The Shape of Water. Next we're going to talk about the new Netflix drop, which was
Literally came out of
the
nowhere.
next in the Cloververse, Cloverfield Paradox. And I'll give it to Abu to give you an overview of this.
Right, okay, I'm
film.
going to try and give a straightforward overview. So this follows a cast of astronauts on, I'm going to say the International Space Station. No, they're on the Cloverfield, aren't they?
It's called
They're actually called
the Cloverfield Station.
Yeah, so they're on the Cloverfield Station, which is running this experiment, a particle accelerator.
Yeah.
So they want to find a new energy source because the world's dying, of course. And they need to fire this experiment, to find out if it works, because the only place safe enough is in space. They fire it, things go wrong, and they end up in another dimension, and freaky stuff starts happening. So this is supposed to be linked.
That sounds like, what's that film where? Ignore me. You know that film
Just
where
cut me off and
Just
then
Sam Neill,
don't even finish.
You've got Sam Neill and like hell comes through the portal in the spaceship. You know what film I'm talking about?
Nope.
Nope.
You can Google it on your phone.
I'll Google it.
Yeah. You
sounds like
do
the
some
exact-
research.
So this follows them in space, and things start to go wrong and weird, and it's supposed to be linked to Cloverfield.
We don't know
Cinematic
how.
universe.
It's definitely open to interpretation. So
bit
we've been reading a
yeah.
couple of things about it, and we've seen that it's a prequel.
No,
We've seen someone say it's a sequel, and we've seen other people say that it's not related whatsoever. It's not a sequence of events, it's an anthology. So the films are loosely based around like a monster and maybe a split in the time-space continuum. But that's pretty much the only thing that links the three movies. And now we found out that there's a fourth already made.
Yeah.
Codename Overlord.
Already made.
Oh yeah, it's like pretty much done.
Yeah, so
Straight to TV.
they were filming it in May 17, so it's probably done.
So I think this film is pretty much all over the place in a sense, and I think what the main problem here is that this film was supposed to be called something else. So it's actually going to be shot as a movie called God Particle.
Yeah.
Which is like a totally different
new
film.
one.
This movie was supposed to be called
Yeah.
God Particle.
So in the
yes,
same
It was
way,
going to be called.
yes, but later on they decided to add the Cloverfield angle
in
to
the
it.
in the same way that
Yeah.
10 Cloverfield Lane was actually going to be called The Cellar,
Yeah.
and then J.J. Abrams took over and they reshot some and made a link to the Cloverfield.
Which
film.
is
Why is Cloverfield so interesting?
we don't know.
We don't know. So none of us actually really
Yeah.
like the original Cloverfield.
Yeah,
I don't like found footage very
Not
much.
just us. No one cares about Cloverfield. J.J. Abrams. No one really does.
I mean,
And just leave it alone.
Yeah.
Like leave it dead and
before
buried.
I rage into this movie too much, I mean, what I do want to say on the good side of things is that I love the cast. I think it's such
cast
a great,
is great.
strong cast. So Chris O'Dowd, who's always hilarious, but he feels a bit out of place in this.
I think he's
one-liners are a bit weird.
He's definitely a bit more relaxed, restrained in this.
Yeah.
So he's not full on like the IT crowd, Chris O'Dowd, or like Bridesmaids, Chris O'Dowd. He's definitely still a little bit of the comic relief in this.
I think you've just sold the film to me. I'm definitely going to watch it now.
And you know what is another great actor? Chris O'Dowd's arm. We're not gonna tell you what happens. Just his arm is great.
Daniel Brew, he's always great.
So he was Zemo in Captain America: Civil War. The bad guy.
Inglourious Bastards as well.
Inglourious Bastards.
No way.
Yeah. David Oyelowo. I was Oyelowo.
Oyelowo.
Yes. And
he was really great as the captain.
And Elizabeth Debicki, who's always the bad person in every movie I see for some reason. So
she's in Guardians of the Galaxy 2 as the leader of the Sovereign people, and she's kind of you see her coming.
Yeah.
Really,
Yeah. So yeah, I mean the cast. But apart from that, I think the movie was just a bit confusing. I'm not really too sure where it's going.
It's one of those films that's supposed to be, or at least from what I've read, it's supposed to be a bit more visceral. So I watched it today, and I was just thinking like, what is going on? And I started reading about it, and I kind of get it. Like, it's supposed to outline like the needs of the many outweighing the needs of the few, and like how doing the right thing isn't always doing the right thing, and how it's good to have balance and make careful decisions, but ultimately there's this unpredictability that you can't control in life, and all this kind of stuff.
I disagree with that. I just think this movie doesn't. It's just gone way too deep for itself. Because it's just Cloverfield. Let's be honest.
No, and that's what I thought.
No need to go.
This is like me and Mother. Like I couldn't get on board with Mother because it's too much of the allegories and stuff. And in this, it's the same thing. It's like just be what you need to be.
Yeah, because it's like this film talks about like don't fire these experiments and open up another wormhole or universe. And the demons will come in and demons. This is where it probably links into the original Cloverfield. But there's no demons. It doesn't mention anything.
Wait, are the demons as big as the first Cloverfield?
They're bigger.
Yeah.
Well, the one that they show is
on
bigger.
The spaceship.
No.
No.
Spaceship,
So there's none on the spaceship.
It would be fun though.
Basically, all of the things that start happening. It's all set in space.
In the Cloverfield spaceship.
But everything that's happening is supposed to be as a result of two dimensions colliding.
It's just
No, in the space. So the space station goes into another dimension.
Because of the experiment.
Because of the
another world.
Yeah. Or another alternate universe.
That sounds pretty
So then there's the idea that all of the other films are a multiverse. So each film is set in a different universe, and people are talking about that. I know exactly.
It's just
and
lazy.
it's like, you know what? Just go full haul, take it back, make it a prequel. That would have been great.
But
putting all of this, exactly. Putting all this interpretation into it just makes it either garbage or great, and it's kind of garbage.
I want to one thing. I don't want to spoil it too much, but the ship is weird because like everyone just it's a space horror, so people are gonna die. But it's just like it doesn't make any sense. It's like it's not like a better movie would be Life, which is
I'd agree. Definitely.
Life was great because they had an alien, and the alien just wanted to kill everyone. Fair enough. Here it's like people are dying, but it's like, wait, why are they dying? Is it because it's just randomly dying, or is it because the spaceship's sentient now?
You know, actually, what I thought when I was watching it, it's very Black Mirror.
Yeah, wow.
Whoa, Black Mirror is amazing.
No, it's not as good. Anywhere as good as Black Mirror. Like I haven't watched Black Mirror, but I've seen like a couple of episodes, and the feeling is exactly the same. Stuff is happening, and you have no idea why, and it is weird and it is messed up. But it's still kind of like I don't care about the characters. Like it's a great cast, and
there is a sacrifice at one point, right? But the character even says, "I don't need to do this, but I'm gonna do it anyway."
And it's like you literally have like a line attached to you called a lifeline.
They literally say, "I don't need to do this, but I have to." I'm like, what? That makes no sense. So
is your life so worthless?
It's so suicidal.
By the way, I was saying it reminds me of another film. The film is Event Horizon.
Oh.
You know which one I'm talking about? It's a really old 1997. Like they're in a spaceship, they open portal to another dimension, and demons come through.
If it's got Sam Neill in it, watch that.
That one. Oh my god, that gave me nightmares when I was 8 years old or so.
One of a specific bit of rant I want to get out of the way, which I listed here, is they go back to Earth every now and again for this another story arc following the survivors. One survivor, and he rescues a kid. but it goes nowhere.
We follow Survivor of what?
Because Earth's suddenly being taken over by monsters, but we never.
Well.
They don't tell us how.
So it's supposed to be like the split when they fired the accelerator and went into the other dimension, so brought monsters onto Earth.
But it doesn't really explain how the monsters got there, but who cares?
Yeah, so they're there.
The monster's there, it's raging, but it's like they follow this like two people. But it never goes anywhere. Like at the end of it, like what was the point of that? They could have cut that all out of the movie.
Are they related to someone in the spaceship?
Yeah, they are, but the storyline goes nowhere though. Like they don't have any significant.
And who in England has a bunker with like a kitchenette and beds?
I do.
And a guy who's the bunker who owns it is a guy who's well connected to the military who knows everything as well.
Yeah, exactly. And he isn't using his own bunker. Then there was this other thing about like. There's two versions, obviously because you're in an alternate dimension, there's two versions of the same person. They had the same choice to make. One went one way, one went the other way, and like how tragedy impacted on their decision and stuff like this. And the only thing I did find interesting, you know when the airlock opens and the water comes out but it freezes? So there's like interesting spins on physics and how things work in space. That was interesting.
I just think
nothing to do with the storyline or the film. I just like the physics.
I was thinking I could have seen that in Discovery Channel.
I mean, I can see. I mean, my review will be overall like I can understand why they didn't do any marketing because they literally dropped this.
Yeah, it was like Super Bowl happened and then Netflix.
You know, all that you've discussed, it sounds like it'll be a very high budget film with all the CGI and production.
Who knows how much it was? but. I think they'll make money back on it regardless.
Did it look like high production value?
Yeah.
It's very well polished.
It looks really good.
Yeah, but I think they'll make the money back because Netflix, people will watch it regardless.
Yeah.
But I can understand why they didn't do any like hype for it. They just literally came out on the day because the critics would have slated it.
I don't know why they've called it paradox. I don't see a paradox.
It's a cool word, yeah.
It's a cool word. We're just going to use it. Short reviews.
At least they didn't do a reborn or something. Cloverfield reborn.
My review explains the marketing because this is the reason why they kept it so low key and just released it without anyone.
Yeah, and gave it to Netflix where they'd get an instant
return
on it.
Otherwise, it would have been slated before it came out and would not have been good. So. But yeah, someone to make Cloverfield happen, it's not gonna happen.
I mean,
it's not gonna happen.
Yeah, mine would be if you own Netflix.
Yeah.
Watch it.
If not,
maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Moving on to our next bit. Our last minute tag on.
Yeah.
I saw Early Man early in the week with my dad, so I'm going to be doing a 1 minute review.
You wanna put the clock on?
Okay,
so we need to get the clock.
I've got the clock on. Remember 1 minute. Last time we went easy on me, but no, we want ruthless.
Yeah, we want
efficiency.
1 minute.
I'll let you know 5 seconds before it.
I mean, I'm just going to put this out there. This film deserves more than a 1 minute review.
Yeah, we have some logistical issues.
Stop.
Okay, Early Man. It's directed by Nick Park, who also stars as Hognob, this dog pig thing. And it's from the Aardman Animation Studios, who also made Shaun the Sheep, Chicken Run, Wallace and Gromit. You've got Eddie Redmayne, Tom Hiddleston, Maisie Williams, Timothy Spall, Richard Ayoade, Rob Brydon, Miriam Margolyes, Johnny Vegas, Gina Yashere, Mark Williams. Massive crowd. You've got adult jokes. It's a PG film, so the jokes are very subtle. But at one point, I was nearly crying and thinking, is this really a PG film? It follows a caveman tribe who have to enter a football match with the Bronze Age tribe to try and save their valley. It sounds really silly, but it's an Aardman film. It's clay animation. Yeah. It's going to be silly, and the jokes are silly. It's toilet humour, and I absolutely loved it. My dad was almost in tears, and he's a 65-year-old man, and everyone in the film was absolutely loving it. They also did like creature comforts and flushed away, and the detail that goes into it is amazing. You can actually see like the like fingerprints on the clay when they do really close-up images. It is absolutely unbelievable. It's a very simple storyline, but at the end of the day, it's for kids, but adults will love it too.
Great. 7 seconds.
PG-13, really? Okay, PG. With all the jokes. Yeah, there's just say just because of jokes now.
There's a really good bit where they like fly out the window while holding onto a toilet roll, and it gets to the end of the toilet roll and it just stops. It doesn't break like toilet roll actually would, and then they get to the floor and there's a poster on the wall that says like for the toilet. It's an advert for the toilet roll, and it's like no one's second choice or number 2 or something like that, and it's just really silly. But
I'm surprised it's got a lot of toilet humor in it, to be honest. Like, I can understand it was a bit more like a 15-cut film, but the kids don't get it, it's fine.
Exactly. But it's got like the cast is incredible. Yeah, it's great.
Yeah, I heard Tom Hiddleston. I think, wow.
Yeah, Tom Hiddleston plays like the baddie, obviously.
Of course.
Maisie Williams plays a character called Guna. like it's a football film, so the names are kind of like plays on.
I don't talk about Gooners right now.
FIFA, and like Asbo, Treeball Mints, Gooner, and stuff like that.
Yeah, Gooner. I'm really annoyed at them today.
Yes.
Waste, man.
This is not what that show is for, okay? Okay, so we're gonna move on to do a little bit of a news segment. So last time we did the Oscars. Yeah. Now we're gonna look at the Super Bowl and some big trailers that dropped. A lot
of trailer drops this week.
So many trailers.
So we're gonna quickly run through them.
I watched like the whole thing, and it was a good like 12 minutes of trailers just from the Super Bowl.
Yeah, I mean, it is like the prestige marquee marketing slot for everyone. So
we've talked about Cloverfield. We can ignore that now.
Never again.
Should we jump in with, well, let's do one. I don't think it was at the Super Bowl, but I really wanted to mention it. Deadpool 2. Deadpool meets Cable is the trailer sort of title. Yeah. And it just had a massive dig at DCEU. So it was. Sorry now. The line is like, why are the visual effects not done? It's a metal arm. It's not like we're trying to remove a mustache.
For that alone, I think
for that alone, Deadpool 2 is going to be a winner for me.
That mustache just killed the DCEU. Amazing. But yeah,
I was actually worried Deadpool 2 wouldn't like.
What happened?
No, it wouldn't hold up to what Deadpool 1 was. But the trailer sold me.
It does.
I think it is going to hold up, and I think they've got good ideas. They've got good people behind it.
Yeah, Ryan Reynolds really cares about it as well. I mean, if it wasn't for him, this whole thing wouldn't even happen.
Exactly. It's definitely his baby.
Wolverine origins.
I'm sure he's got a lot of creative input in this.
Exactly. I think he's got probably most of the creative.
And the great thing about that trailer is there's the comedy, but there looks like there's going to be some amazing action with a few more X-Men and things like that.
And Cable really obviously getting
involved Cable,
as well, so.
Cable
Josh Brolin, right?
So definitely that's one to put.
So isn't he playing Thanos and now Cable?
It's his alter ego.
That is true.
He masquerades as Cable during the nighttime.
Okay, next one. Shall we go for possibly your favourite?
Mission Impossible.
Yeah.
Of course, I'm loving that.
Really?
Yeah, well, I have the trailers that drop for sure.
My favourite as well.
I'm really looking for this movie. I mean, I love the other two.
While we were talking about the Tash.
So. Ghost Protocol and Rogue Nation, I think are really solid films, and this is obviously looks like something even better. And I think Henry Cavill moustache just really makes it even more funnier.
Yeah.
Every time I see that Tash, I'm like, yeah, man, that killed DC.
That killed Justice League.
The fact Paramount was just like, nope, we can't cut it off. Yeah, that's
hilarious.
So what?
That must be an inside joke that went on to be, put that on the contract.
I literally think the first scene in this film should be him just shaving it off in the mirror. I'm like, yep, looks good.
Yeah. So that's coming out in July. Yeah, so you guys are going to love it. Probably.
Henry Cavill looks amazing like, when he's in that scene where he's in the toilet bathroom. Tom Cruise obviously does his stuff.
The stunts are looking insane. Like I saw the Graham Norton interview with
that shot where he broke his
ankle, and then the stuff about the helicopters as well.
Yeah, apparently that's the most dangerous stunt he's ever done. So I mean, he ups it every year. But
I wasn't aware that when he broke his ankle, he just carried on with the shot, and it's in the film. So the pain you see in his face.
I love it when you hear things about like you know when Viggo Mortensen broke his foot in Lord of the Rings. And he just carried on, and it made it like one of the most emotive scenes of the film. And it was like literally in so much pain. But I don't know if it's kind of turning into Fast and Furious with the number of films.
No way. I don't care. You could have said the same thing about Bond then.
To be honest, right now I think Mission Impossible is ahead of Bond because Spectre and Rogue Nation came out.
Without a doubt, Bond. The only good Bond was Casino Royale. I really don't think Skyfall
Can we look past the new Bond and go to the old Bond, please? Because that's the one that counts.
Well, I think most people in today's age would be comparing like for like, right?
You have to compare, what's that? But definitely looking forward to that.
Okay,
should be great.
Moving on to one that I'm pretty surprised at. Solo, a Star Wars story, also coming out. This is all like summer releases.
I thought that's coming out in the winter, like with other Star Wars. But it's coming out in May, which caught me out a bit. But
they just need a bit of cash, and they know they can get.
Yeah, but I'm not intrigued.
I'm not feeling the guy playing Han Solo.
That's what I was thinking as well.
I'm not interested in Lando. And what's his name?
Daniel Glover.
No, Daniel Glover. Yeah, I'm more interested in that character.
That'd be good.
He looks amazing, man.
But
he looks really good.
Yeah, he doesn't look quite as like charming and cavalier.
It reminds me of when they cast Dan DeHaan in Valerian. It's just like I'm just not feeling that casting.
It's
just
I don't know. Some of the dialogue in the trailer just it just didn't do anything for me. Someone commented on my Facebook going, "What did you think of this?" And I'm like, oh,
maybe it's the Last Jedi effect or some kind of like Star Wars, like maybe.
But I thought because it's like a standalone, I didn't want to relate it to the Last Jedi. But
more
I watched
Rogue
it and I
One.
was just
Hopefully, it goes on to Rogue One because Rogue One was amazing.
Rogue One was great.
Yeah,
but this one,
who's directing this one? By the way,
I don't know.
I shall quickly
fact check it.
Fact check that one.
But yeah,
I feel like this is an irrelevant film.
Really?
Yeah, I don't think it needs to be
it is a
there.
little bit. It doesn't need to be there. But
I think the worst part is the name of it was just so bad. I'm like,
it's like we're gonna come up with this super witty film title. It's gonna be great. No, it's called Solo.
They literally hyped the thing up. They had a little release on social media, like we're gonna show you the movie.
Yeah, exactly.
What could it be? You know, it's called Solo. Like, oh.
No, it's not 12 parsecs.
It's directed by quite a few people: Ron Howard, Christopher Miller, Phil Lord. That's not a good sign when there's a lot of directors involved.
Who's the director?
It's gonna be messy then.
Yeah, it's got 3 directors attached to it. So well, I'm not really like, when I saw the Rogue One trailer, whoa, this looks amazing. Whereas this sounds like I'll watch it. Star Wars.
Yeah, I was actually pleasantly surprised by Rogue One. I thought that was the best of this current series.
I like Rogue One more than Force Awakens.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
That's just personal taste.
Yeah. Rogue One, Force Awakens, Last Jedi.
Last Jedi.
Last Jedi is not even on the list. It's its own list.
Yeah. Okay, moving on. One of my sort of guilty pleasures is Jurassic World: Fallen Kingdom, also in June. No. So for me, literally, I've written like a line for each of the films, and this one is literally just yay dinosaurs, and also Chris Pratt.
I'll be honest, I don't see where this movie is going, what the plot is, like, what's happening exactly in it. It's like,
so
it's just like,
oh, that dinosaur.
It's just like,
you know that.
So there's like a volcano that's erupting, and they're trying to save some of the dinosaurs.
Yeah, but I'm saying the
it's
plot
basically
feels a bit.
Nature is trying to kill dinosaurs again.
Yeah, but I'm just saying that plot seems a bit boring, to be honest. I'm like definitely made a better.
Exactly. Why are you going to save the dinosaur?
It's dinosaur rights activists or something like that. But I don't care. I really don't.
I'm just watching the trailer. Of course, I'm watching. But I was like watching the trailer thinking, is this the story you're going with here? It's like I can kind of come up with something a bit more.
Yeah, I don't know.
To be honest.
That's the only thing about
there's a volcano on an island. I'm like, I don't care.
That's the only thing about the plot that I've got. Yeah. Like I get that there's a volcano and they're maybe trying to save some of the dinosaurs. But other than that, I don't really know where they're going to go.
Yeah, that's what I'm a bit worried about. I'm thinking, where exactly, like, it should be kind of clear by now. Like, okay, we've got an idea, but here's like a bit of a...
Well, they can't do let's open a park again. That's kind of been done.
But I mean, these guys get paid good money to come up with scripts. So
what really grinds my gears is that they're pushing T-Rex as the new Godzilla. You know, the T-Rex comes in and saves the day every time.
T-Rex is annoying. You can't even catch a lady in heels last movie. So what's so special about T-Rex?
No, that's the thing. So T-Rex is more bothered by the other dinosaurs. I need to be king of the hill, rather than I'm not eating this puny human.
To be honest, one thing that they disappointed me in the last Jurassic World film that I think is like they hyped up this super dinosaur. Oh, who is it? They're like, it's just a feature of a T-Rex and a raptor. I'm like, is that it? I was expecting some super mutation.
So the trailer in the Super Bowl had a dinosaur in a girl in the room.
Yeah, it was loud.
In a girl's room. So I think you know when he's talking about the Indominus Rex, but a tenth of the size. Yeah. I think that's what they've done. They've made a super nasty dinosaur, but made it the size of like a human or something.
Yeah, I think the one thing I'm just worried about is I'm not really too sure where the film's going.
Yeah, it's InGen being the secret evil.
Who's InGen?
InGen's that the
company.
InGen
is the company that like Hammond had and created.
Let's call them the Hydra of Jurassic World. Or
yeah,
they're the evil corporation.
They're the evil corporation.
Got it.
And maybe what's his name? Henry Wu comes back.
Yeah, from the original, he still looks just as young. It's really weird. Who's Henry Wu? He's one of the scientists from the original Jurassic Park.
And he was in Jurassic World as well.
And he still looks just as like
I don't remember.
Okay, next Skyscraper. Also coming out in the summer with The Rock, Dwayne Johnson. What is happening in this film?
He doesn't even have legs.
I
thought he was just jumping like Rock typically goes, and then like, what's going on?
You know what? I'm gonna give this film a pass because it just looks like a stupid summer blockbuster movie, and it's an original movie. It's just something we don't really see many original movies nowadays.
I don't know.
So for that,
honestly, I want an original movie like this.
I don't know.
So I think
it sounds like a very boring plot.
It looks like Die Hard again. You know,
it sounds the exact copy of Die Hard with his family in the skyscraper.
I don't know, after Jumanji, you know.
Well, I think the thing is that he goes in and he says that the skyscraper is really dangerous, and they've made it like super tall and super dangerous.
It looks
and
a
I'm
bit
like,
stupid,
what?
but you know what? Summer blockbusters are usually pretty stupid.
Yeah.
And it's something different, to be honest. It's not like another Transformers movie we get or another.
You know, again, what really
grinds my gears.
What tipped me off on this film in the trailer when he is taking a jab at someone because someone called him a glorified security guard. It's so American. It's just a typical American. Oh, everyone has.
I'm loving the meme though about how he jumps across.
Yeah, and
I love that,
people like drawing the parabolas and stuff
Why
like
did he
that.
just land on the T to walk across to the Y and jump over? But yeah, I mean, it's something different. Let's be honest.
And then another one I've got is Red Sparrow, a new Jennifer Lawrence movie coming out in March. My opinion is a Black Widow movie because it looks like that.
Wait, what's Red Sparrow? I don't think.
It's like a recruitment of Russian women and they become like assassins and stuff like that.
It's like Salt.
Black Widow.
Salt. Yeah, exactly.
Salt.
Must be the Black Widow prequel. Who knows?
Maybe. But it's Jennifer Lawrence, so I don't know. A Quiet Place is sort of a horror thriller coming out, and it's like they have to be super quiet so that they don't get found by these monsters. My opinion was couldn't be bothered to write a script.
Sounds like Don't Breathe. Don't Breathe.
And one that I'm really looking forward to is Dundee, which is going to have every Aussie actor ever.
I thought that was a parody, or was that the Crocodile Dundee thing? I think that was a parody, right? Wasn't that like a joke? Was that an actual movie?
Have you ever watched Crocodile Dundee?
Yeah, but I thought that whole thing they did was like a parody. It was just a joke. It wasn't actually happening.
No, I think it's an actual film.
Yeah, I know the film's happening, but I've read something that was just a joke they did for the Super Bowl.
No, I think it's a film. I think it's a film.
I'm going to have to clarify this. I'm pretty sure I've read it. They just did it for the banks. It's not actually a real trailer.
I really hope it's a real film.
I'm going to Google it right now.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure they said
that?
Really quickly.
Danny McBride, like all the Australian actors are in it. So
yeah, so it's like Hugh Jackman, Danny McBride, both of the Hemsworths, Margot Robbie, and all this kind of stuff. I really hope that's a real film.
I'm pretty sure I read. Really.
Then we've got another Superman series, but it's about his grandfather called Krypton.
Superman.
So yeah,
DC,
it's
Krypton.
DC thing.
Oh, TV series.
Yeah, and then the last thing that we wanted to mention. So I was driving home and I was listening to the radio, and Ali Plum on Radio 1 came on and was talking about 50 Shades Freed, and the fact that it dropped like yesterday, but there were no critic viewings. Some of the film critics had to fly over to France to see the movie because it hadn't done any viewings here at all. And I'm like,
that bodes well.
That bodes well. I mean, none of us are going to see it anyway.
Sorry, Alenya, do you want me to break your heart?
It's
the fake Crocodile Dundee movie made by Tourism Australia was one of the more fun and memorable promotions.
Tourism Australia, wow.
It was an elaborate marketing campaign that had all the I'm sorry about that, but I was pretty sure that was like,
go watch Australia. The other film.
No.
The one with Hugh Jackman as well, right?
I don't trust Hugh Jackman anymore. Okay, so with that heartbreak, we're going to end the show.
That's okay. You can watch.
We can mix and mash a few films with Hemsworth in there and Hugh Jackman. I don't think Hugh Jackman and Hemsworth have ever been on the same screen.
I don't know. But we've got to pull it to a close
on that bombshell.
On that absolute nuclear bomb. Everyone have a good weekend and we'll catch you at the next episode. Night.
Bye.